Hi, hello, and welcome to The No Show, the show where I help you gain the confidence and the courage to say no to the things that can hold you back in life from your uncommon path. If you're new to my channel, welcome, thanks for joining us. If you tuned into my last video, welcome back. I missed you. We help you thrive instead of just survive. Have you ever had that moment in life when you realized you weren't good at something? For me, it was actually joining the social team for this company. I was pursuing the uncommon path. I was really excited for this opportunity, but at the same time, I kind of felt like an imposter. Everyone else on the team seemed more qualified than me. A few of them took the traditional path and studied for the position they were in, so that was kind of intimidating. And then I came in with an interest, but little to, really no experience. We use this program called Slack to communicate with each other. And I remember the first time I hopped into a team meeting, I was completely lost. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know where to find the conversation. My boss had to tag me multiple times. And not solely because of that moment, there were many others. I quickly realized that this was something I was going to have to truly work towards being good at. And that shook my ego. Shooketh. It scared me. There was multiple times where I had thoughts in my head like, there's other people that are more qualified than me. I should just quit now while I'm ahead. I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to disappoint them. There was a few times where I thought about quitting before I had even truly started. But thankfully, I have a great team and amazing bosses who all have a tremendous amount of patience, who are excited to help me grow and succeed, not only in the company, but in life. So now, fast forward months later, I'm on it. I'm in those calls. I'm using the lingo. And I'm far from learning all there is to learn, okay? I'm no pro. I just realized I've been checking the wrong email for literally months. Sorry, Christine. Happens to the best of us. All that is to say, I learned a valuable lesson. We can't be good at everything right away. And on the uncommon path, there will be many things that you start that look easy or seem easy to do in theory, but in actuality take time to be good. This is a valuable lesson because if you give in to your ego, then you never allow yourself the opportunity to be good at anything. A river does not form because of the force of the water, but because of consistency. That was deep, huh? I know. When you're on the uncommon path, you have to say no to your ego and say no to being good at everything from the very beginning. So what do you do when you feel like you're no good at something? Some unicorns are good at everything they do. I'm looking at you, Pedro Pascal. The next time you feel like you're not living up to Pedro Pascal's standards, remember these 3 things to help check yourself and reframe the situation. Stop, breathe, and reevaluate. Our brains are designed to show us what's wrong. The brain is a million-year-old tool, and it's not designed to make you happy, unfortunately. It's designed to keep you alive. Some might say that's pretty important stuff. So when there's something wrong or something we don't do well, the brain notices that because it's seen as a threat to survival. We fixate on not being good at something, which is the brain's way of telling us, hey, you're not good at this, fix it, let's do something to make it better. But instead, sometimes ego steps in, we get discouraged, and we quit. When this happens, stop, breathe, and reevaluate. Literally stop what you're doing. Take a deep breath to change your state because your posture is probably that of someone who's sad and upset. How many times a day do you just catch yourself like... And on top of that, as you think of them, think back to when you first started and how in the beginning, maybe you weren't very good. When a baby is first learning how to walk and they fall down, do you think the parents just look at them and say, well, I guess it's time to give up hope? That'd be kind of funny, but no, of course not. We'd have a full-on WALL-E situation on our hands. WALL-E. Give yourself some credit where it's due and allow yourself a break when you need it. This leads to the next thing. Get yourself to an MVP state. No, not the most valuable player. That would mean that you're the best. MVP. Minimum viable product. This is a term used in startups, and it's a term to describe a product that has enough features to be usable. Get the repetition in and fix problems as you go. When the COVID lockdown happened, most companies and schools were building the plane in the air. They barely knew what they were doing with turning everything into virtual. But if a company had just said, well, we're gonna stop work until we get a virtual program perfect, they would go out of business. So they just worked with what they had and adapted along the way. That's the same with you. Work with what you have and adapt, because that's a skill that's going to serve you for the rest of your life. Practice, practice, practice. It's said that masters of their craft spend 10,000 hours doing something. That's the equivalent of doing something 7 hours straight, 7 days of the week, every week of the year for 4 years. You thought it was going to be longer, huh? I did too. Math has never been my strong suit. Now, I don't know if you have that kind of freedom, but think about when you first started a job and the current staff would be talking about stuff, anything, and you didn't understand it at all. Maybe they were using abbreviated terms or acronyms. Then months later, there's a new person hired, and you could just see the look on their face when you're talking to them, like, I have no idea what you're saying. That story that I told you earlier about how I had to be tagged in the Slack conversations, well, once I found the conversation, I had no idea what they were even talking about. I didn't understand the lingo. I didn't understand the strategy. I didn't understand the sense of humor. I'm a pretty sarcastic person. I am the worst at reading it when it's coming from other people. I will take everything you say to me seriously, and I'm sensitive, so there may or may not sometimes be tears. But now I'm with it. It's because I've put in more hours, and so now I speak the office language like second nature. But that took time. Definitely not 10,000, but I put in enough hours to understand it, as I'm sure you can relate. And in that situation, you were at the very least at MVP state. We have a new guy that just got brought on, and now he's the one getting tagged in Slack conversations. It makes me laugh because, that was me. I used to be there. And between you and me, I'm looking forward to using as much lingo and sarcasm as possible, just to shake them up a bit, for funsies. Of course, when you're investing a lot of time at trying to get good at something that will serve you on your uncommon path, you're bound to get a lot of pushback from your friends or even from your family. Stuff like, you're working too hard, or we never see you. If you want to know what to do in that situation, click the video on the screen right now, and I'll see you over there.